Any minute I spend in a zone of excellence or below, I'm cheating the people that I'm here to serve from my zone of genius. Plus, I'm short shrifting myself.
You became a coach to help people, but no one told you how to build the business behind it. Welcome to Coach as Entrepreneur, the show for coaches building real businesses with systems, strategy, and heart. Build the systems, serve your clients, and support your family. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Just a quick heads up. This is the second part of our chat with David, and the audio is a little rough for the first few minutes, but I promise it does get better. I just couldn't shelve this conversation. There's still way too many good nuggets of information. Thanks for your patience, and let's jump in. I would really like to dive into your business because we've talked about you as an entrepreneur, systems and processes, and what are you doing today and what have you been doing? Because as technology progresses, things change. So what were you doing before and what are you doing today to help you run your business?
Well, we talked a little bit before about hiring for weak spots. Um, there's nothing sexy or glorious or even appropriate about trying to be everything, right? Gay Hendricks wrote a book called The Big Leap. And in it, he talks about, our zones, our zone of incompetence, zone of competence, zone of excellence, and zone of genius. And the worst thing you can possibly do, worse than spending time in your zone of incompetence, that would be me doing finance, is living in your zone of excellence. Because your zone of excellence is great because that's where you get all these acknowledgments and awards and accolades. And it's fun and you're good at it, but it's not your zone of genius. So it's very seductive. Like I could have built the website for our companies and I could do the redesign of it because I built websites for bloody ever. It is not my zone of genius. It's a zone of excellence. I could be pixel pushing all day long and doing a lot of the social images and creation. Not my zone of genius. My zone of genius is serving clients and enrolling clients. That's what I'm here for. That's a thing for that I am uniquely qualified for. Those are the roles that I'm needed for in my business. That and the thought leadership that I bring to this work and the speaking that I do, all the things that are related to coaching and enrollment. That's it. Any minute I spend in a zone of excellence or below, I'm cheating the people that I'm here to serve from my zone of genius. Plus, I'm short shrifting myself. So, anywhere that I can bring in a system, a structure, or hire somebody to do the things that allow me to stay in that zone of genius, the better my business runs. Period. So, I'll give you a great example, and I've even referred my team to several other coaches that I've mentored. I have a team that interviews me at the beginning of each month. We'll spend a couple hours on Zoom or on camera, and I'll have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. They'll have some articles and stuff that they add in, and I will go through and record videos for an hour or two. They'll slice and dice and cut it up and edit everything and relight, tweak the sound. They'll do all those things that I could do, but I would spend weeks doing and it would kill my productivity, but it would be fun. And they create all of my social posts. All I do is go in and make sure I'm happy with the subtitles because I'm an accuracy nerd. And I'll approve or tweak all of the posts. I click a button, everything's scheduled for the entire month. When I want to do something on the fly and insert it, I send it to them. They push everything forward and drop it in, and it's up in the morning if it's not something I want up right now. And so my social is handled. I spend 4 hours a month and I have posts on all my platforms every single weekday, and I have for 5 years. And 4 hours, that's insane. So I found ways to make it easeful for me. And I have mechanisms set up for when I'm doing longer form articles, when I'm doing posts on Forbes, and so on. I have systems for all of it, including an editor at Forbes that I work with. So everywhere that I can make things easeful, I do. When it comes to working with clients, there's nothing better than having a client who's fully focused and fully engaged. Other than somebody who can write longhand as fast as everybody speaks, and that's still a distraction, having them recording sessions and having them posted for them to a secure Google Drive is outstanding because they have access if they want to go back. Zoom's AI summary, we have it enabled for some and not for others. Crisp does a transcription and a summary. There are lots of other mechanisms that I can make it easier for clients to be fully present and have access to information afterwards if they want to go back and capture notes. It's amazing how much deeper the work is when they're not trying to capture every bit of wisdom that comes out of their own mouth. So there are things that I put now. There are clients where the confidentiality is so critical that none of the recording stuff is ever flipped on. And in those situations, we have different mechanisms to make it so they can capture what they need to capture. I can capture what I need to capture. So all of the systems are flexible for that reason because it's all client centric.
And what you're doing with your team to do like your social media stuff now with AI, with how quickly it's moving, like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, all these different systems. Uh, it's because most coaches don't have access to a team or for whatever reason, right? But $20 they can get ChatGPT or Gemini, and they could film themselves and post that and use and put that into one of those tools and have it create or help them to create content for, the next two
Absolutely.
weeks, 3 weeks.
Most coaches don't even think of that. I'll tell you another thing that I've done with it, which, because I haven't done a lot of it. The last time I had supervision was during my master certified coach process. But one of the things I'm
Yeah.
able to do with ChatGPT now is, and with Google LM or yeah, Notebook LM from Google,
Notebook. Yeah.
there are a variety, and Noda. I have so many AI tools that I use. One of the things I'll do is anonymize the coaching, meaning strip out all the names and the company names from within a transcript. I took one client's entire arc of coaching over 4 years. I took all the transcripts, names anonymized into coach, client, etc., dropped it into a suite of different AI tools that I use, had it extract what it saw as my themes, methodology, process, arc of the coaching, pulled out the tone of my coaching, pulled out so much information that I've got my nose on tree bark. It's hard for me to see the forest. AI was able to really extract a lot of information. And I've been using that from a variety of different coaching engagements and writing that I've done and speeches that I've done. And I'm having all of that baked into an AI version of me as a coach. So I'm working with CoachBot to create a master certified coach that's me, that my clients can have access to. Since my clients span 16 time zones, my clients can have access to me 24/7 or a version of me. And it can even coach clients I've never met. The advantage of AI coaching is it extends the ability that the coach has of serving their existing clients, and it democratizes access to coaching by making that 24/7 low cost available. You can either spend $1,500 an hour on a master coach or $500 a year for unlimited coaching from a master certified bot.
And that's what I was talking about before in terms of using technology to augment the coach's capabilities,
Absolutely.
because you are so good, but you're not going to catch everything all the time because we can't operate 100% all the time for whatever reason. And so if you have that AI tool that has a transcript of your conversation, then you can have it do some analysis, sentiment analysis, or looking for themes or, other trigger words. And if you're looking over a period of time, then you can see, yeah, as you're saying, these arcs or these themes or consistent issues that are arising over that period. And so I mean, I know people are concerned about technology, but I think the ability to it's a tool, and you can use any tool in any way for good or bad. And I think the capabilities for coaches to and the possibilities to use these tools to augment their powers to be able to serve their clients even better, there's like the sky's the limit. So we kind of broached the topic of like content marketing, being filmed for 2 to 4 hours, having a team to be able to edit and take that information and content and create that and put that out for your social posts. And so that's creating visibility for yourself. And so coaches can do something similar using AI. Actually, one thing I've been telling a few coaches is you create an agent, a ChatGPT agent or whatever tool you want to use, that's an interviewer who's like, Tom Brokaw or, you know, any of these, anybody really, and then just have them ask you questions. And then you just record that session because a lot of times coaches just don't know what to talk about. But then if you get prompted, then it just all comes out. So you just need a tool that can prompt you to get and create the content. What other systems have you found that have been helpful for you outside of just the social media posting and the content marketing part of things?
There are, I use a lot of Cloud HQ's plugins for Google Workspace. We use Google Workspace extensively across our team. I think I may have gotten in too early. It was super limiting on how you could move from platform to platform to platform. But the idea behind it was great. It was, how do you superhuman your productivity by limiting distractions? And because so much of the work I do is with folks who are neurodivergent, whether it's ADHD, depression, anxiety, learning differences, you name it, tools that can reduce distraction and reduce the gamification are always positive uses of technology. Um, but I use a lot of the Cloud HQ Chrome extensions and plugins for Google Workspace. I think it's incredibly easy to customize a system to work the way your brain works. The most
Mm.
important thing about technology is that you lean, and I teach people this all the time, lean into frameworks and away from systems, especially when you see these courses online. A system is something that worked for one person in one situation with one community and one set of values at one time. A framework is something that you can build your values in your world and your market around. And that's
Mm.
very different. And you see all these things, 7 steps to 7 figures, the perfect system for blah blah blah. That's all bullshit. It for coaches, it just empties your wallet and delays your dreams. Look for the frameworks that you can bring your market and your values and your way of being to. And it's amazing how well those work, which is why I like Google Workspace and the ability to customize that. I think nobody should be using a custom website today. I think for coaches that are beginning to build their practice, you are just, this is from a web developer. You are asking
Mm.
for it, not using you're asking for
WordPress.
it, not using WordPress, because there's no reason for custom code. There are plugins and themes, and it is an amazingly extensible platform that makes it brainlessly easy for you to get a website. And if the developer doesn't work out, you can move to another one, right?
Mm.
Pick your partners well, pick your platforms well, and that is the best advice for technology ever. There are, I mean, we can go really deep. Anytime you
Mm.
evaluate a platform, look at what the business model is. If it's free, you're the commodity, just like
Mhm.
social media platforms. So pay attention to who you're partnering with and look at what the business model is. Make sure that it's
Mm.
something designed to help you do your business better, not to do what the platform says you should do.
Yeah, that's perfect. And when it comes to websites too, I've changed my thinking around websites, especially for coaches, because they'll spend like 2 to 5 thousand on a website, WordPress site, which is actually pretty average, right? That's not very expensive at all. But they're not driving traffic to it.
Right.
And so what I've been telling people now is that you don't really need a website because you don't have traffic. So why don't you save your money, build one single page that's your coach profile, who you are, what you do, how do you serve people, and then how do they get connected with you,
Right.
right? Just keep, and then dial in the messaging. And so once, because either that, if you dial in that messaging, people will come if you're funneling them to that landing page. But if you get more people coming and you want to expand your services, then you can create more pages. But for a lot of coaches, if the business is coming, then that page is good enough. And then they don't have to like, as we were talking earlier, like owning property and having all these different things. If you just have a single website with a one page, you don't really have to think about more because it's just one thing and it's just simple, straightforward, and it just brings people in.
People want to validate that you're real and invite them to have a conversation. The conversation is what's going to bring them in as a client. Yes, there are people that do a lot of programs and a lot of groups that folks can sign up for. That's just extending the site, but that's when the business is more of a going concern. Uh, One of the front of the room leaders for Coactive Training Institute, oldest, largest training body out there. One of their front of the room leaders has been coaching since before coaching was coaching. She's 25, 30 years into it. Didn't have a website until a couple of years ago. Thriving multiple six-figure practice because of the way she was engaging with the world was generating the traffic. Didn't need a website. Potentially still doesn't. For a long time, she had a page on two of the coaching groups that she consulted for, that, she was on the bench for. And that was the most web presence she had. She didn't need it. Had a LinkedIn page. Coaches don't need a massive web presence ever. And I say that for a reason, even though mine is ridiculously overdone. It's an occupational deformation of having been a web developer. I get crap about it all the time. The reason you don't is you don't want to bring tire kickers into your practice. You will burn out doing chemistry sessions with people who don't know what coaching is, have never paid for it, don't have the budget, and have no intention of leaning in. So I believe that websites should be disqualification tools. You look at mine,
Thank
you'll
you.
see that it is. That it's by the time people have moved through my website or even down the first page, they have self-selected out more often than
Mhm.
in. 95% of my web traffic plus is people that have searched for my name, my company name, a quote of mine, the name of my book, something I've said. They have encountered me out in the wild and they're coming to the website for validation or to contact me. I
Yeah.
never want a ton of unwashed masses coming to my website and reaching out through any channel to say, "Can you tell me what coaching is?" No, I don't want that traffic. And any coach who's fielding that traffic is going to burn out within a year.
I agree. I mean, if you're gonna, at least it's something to get people in, but you just get overwhelmed by the numbers of people who are coming in and just asking you all these silly questions that you're not, and it's not bringing you clients.
So I'll give you an example of how to handle folks like that. Um, One of our companies, my wife's company, Impact Parents, they have a program called Sanity School, which is for parents of kids with complex needs. And what
Mhm.
Impact Parents does, the work that they do, so much of it is the same stuff that you have to do with a new client to help them better understand A, what's going to be the parenting model, but B, how to navigate being a parent of a kid with complex needs and the basic skills to help you help your kids. If they're going to do that with every single coaching client, team or group coaching or individual client, why not make that something that the clients can do on their own? So almost everybody gets pushed towards Sanity School first. So if they're getting a ton of traffic of folks who don't even know what coaching is, instead of having to have those chemistry sessions and burn the time of all the people who do those sessions for the company, pushing them to Sanity School. It's inexpensive, it's easy for folks to do at home, and by the time those folks come for one-to-one or group interactions with the coaches, they've already hit acceleration. They're starting to see progress and change in their world.
Mhm.
So any coach can do that. If you're a leadership coach, talk about what your model is. Teach people essential leadership skills. If it's relationship coaching, same. If it's addiction coaching, ADHD coaching, doesn't matter. You can
Yeah.
build something that fields that traffic for you that is not
Mm.
burning your time. And
Yeah.
that's an ideal way if you're going to use a website to do something to generate income while you sleep. More importantly, it's protecting you and your time.
So then I would put it in this kind of framework, right? If you're a starter coach, just your first year in, maybe you do put the book a call up there because you don't know your client well enough yet. So you take the
Yeah.
conversations
Yeah.
and you listen to them and then you analyze what are people asking you and what's that first thing or the most often requested thing that they're talking about. And then based around that you do that. And then you think about what's the second thing, third thing, fourth thing, and you just that can be your framework for how to help you to disqualify or qualify possible clients, right? And these are the kind of things that coaches don't know or don't think about. Or, I mean, it's just because if you're not coming from that world, you just don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what to look for, and you don't know how to make that better. So this is really where I'm trying to get to is providing actionable tactics and frameworks for coaches to be able to not burn out and build that successful business, right?
But the best advice I got for a new coach to date came from my
Mm,
wife. And she reached out to 5 or 10 a week the first week. And I'll give you the refined version of what we do and what we teach other people to do. And that is you
mm,
reach out to those 5 or 10 people that week and you set up conversations. And whether it's
mm,
15, 20 minutes on Zoom, whether it's over coffee, it doesn't matter. And here's what you're asking for. Hey, I'm doing something new and I'm really excited about it. I'd like to share it with you. And no, it's not multi level marketing, right? Or insurance. And when you get together with them, there are 3 parts to the conversation, right? First of all, thank you for getting together. Here's what I'm doing. Here's who I'm doing it to. And here's why they like having it done to them. Thank you. And that's it. Because the first couple weeks of this, you are practicing saying those things. I'm coaching people like this. I'm gone into coaching. These are the folks I'm serving, and this is what the outcome is for them. What I'm doing, to whom I'm doing it, and why they like having it done to them. Right? And then gratitude at the beginning, at the end. That's it. You're sharing with them and you're practicing. After you've gotten really good at those things, you add in the fourth step. So it's thank you. Here's what I'm doing. Here's who I'm doing it to. Here's why I like having it done to them. Who do you know that needs to know me? When you ask somebody, do you know about anybody or can you refer me? You're asking them to spend their relationship capital on you. There's a
mm,
psychological difference when you say, who do you know that needs to know me? Because you're asking them to make a match, to do something beneficial for 2 different people. And there is a difference. People love being a matchmaker. Who do you know that needs to know me? And if you can do 10 of those a week going forward, that will build your practice like that because it's all
mm,
relationship based. You will begin to have conversations. Many of those people will say no. The more no's you collect, the more yeses you will get. And you
mm.
keep going. That will build your practice and it will build it quickly.
That is gold. I think that is something that any coach, any starter coach or coach who's been in it for 5 years can take that and
Do
and
it now.
actionably do that. Yeah.
And that's a really good way to shift the perspective because I think that's one of the hardest things for coaches or even just people in general, switching the conversation from, what's my value per hour to what's the value of the outcome that we can deliver.
Yes. Or the outcome you can help them create. It's
hmm
cost per hour versus value of outcome.
hmm And I think that would help coaches in their conversations and as they develop their programs or their services because I don't think most people think that way. Unless you've been there and in some other capacity, you're thinking, like you said, the psychologist model, right? Where you spend so much money per session.
Well, look, and coaches may start out doing it by session. I recommend getting out of that, if not immediately, really quickly. Even if it's just we're going to have X number of sessions a month and it's X dollars per month, at least it's a monthly mindset. Help your clients get out of the paying dollars for hours. And it
Mhm.
means the coach has to get used to that. Start how you start, but move out of that as quickly as you can.
David, thank you so much for your time. This has been so good. There's so much to unpack here. I'll probably be thinking about this for a while. And I really do hope that people will listen and they'll take, advice from someone who is seasoned, who has been there, and who has been able to become a really successful coach and to leave that impact wake. And that's why I want to do this too, is I want to be able to create impact, and communication through media is one very powerful medium to do that.
The more that your listeners can learn from other people's mistakes and their successes, the fewer mistakes they'll make along the way and the faster they'll get to their own success. So please learn from other coaches out there how to do and not do what you're trying to do, and you will move faster.
Thank you so much again, David, and we'll see you next time.
Pleasure being here.
That's it for today's episode. I hope you grabbed something useful you can actually apply in your business. If you did, leave a comment or share it with a friend, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you next week.